Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And thank you, Javier, thank you, Aitor, Ana, and Xavi. Zebra startups emerged as a reaction to the unicorn model, which is primarily focused on rapid growth and in high valuations. The term Zebra was popularized by 2017 in an article written by 4 founders of Zebra Unit, who argued that the unicorn approach was creating companies that, although highly valued, were often unsustainable and not beneficial to society in a long term. So in contrast, Zebras aim to be profitable while also promotions equity, diversity, and sustainability, offering real solutions to social and environment problems. And today we have the opportunity to talk about Zebra startups. So, Javier, what motivates you to follow the path of social and environmental impact in EcoAlf?
Well, I had been in fashion for many years, and then the company was sold at the end of 2007, beginning of 2008. At that point, I was fed up with the fashion industry, so I decided I wanted to work on sustainability. I tried for 2 years to find a foundation with resources to really make an impact. So I got into a lot of activism and groups and everything, and at some point, my 2 sons were born, Alfredo and Álvaro, that's why the name Alf. And I decided, okay, apart from protesting, which is very needed, why don't you try to do something? So I said, okay, why don't you try to create a sustainable fashion company? I believe the most sustainable thing to do was not to keep on using natural resources, so recycling was an option, and then that's how EcoAlf started.
Very interesting. I didn't know regarding the name, the origin. How has sustainability evolved at EcoAlf over time, and what are now the current challenges?
Well, when we started in 2009, sustainability wasn't very fashionable. No, at the end it was a bit hippie. No, it was sort of a synonym of bad design, low quality, and recycling was even worse. Recycling was very bad perceived, no? And when you went to a dinner and said, what do you want to do? No, I want to create this company which recycles the waste. They would think I was going to take the old blanket of the grandmother to make a backpack. No? And luckily, over the years, I think that's changed. I think it was when you meet innovation, sustainability, and design, I think that's when it works, no? And so it has evolved. We started very focused on recycling. We are still very focused on recycling. We have developed more than 690 different recycled fabrics since we started. And now we're going into the next, what we feel is a new generation, which is all that has to do with regenerative agriculture. So we're investing in 2 projects which are amazing, and which is now we've always been measuring, okay, how much water do we save doing this shirt against to a normal shirt, how much do we save doing this against that, and that, I think with all the regenerative agriculture, it's not only about how bit better you do it, but how you can create a positive impact. And that's what we want to work on.
Very interesting. And from the investment point of view, Ana, how you assess the balance between profitability and social impact in the projects that you finance?
Yeah, well, thanks very much for the question. First of all, I would like to explain a little bit what we do. Okay, we are a financial institution. We are a public-private, state-owned company, actually, and we are dependent on the Ministry of Industry. And we manage state funds. It's about now 6 billion euros, which is quite a size, right? And these funds, we have been investing in projects abroad for the internationalization funds that we manage, helping Spanish companies, always with a focus on sustainability. Okay, we prioritize investments with concern regarding environmental and social issues. We also recently have received a mandate to manage two funds that are very focused on sustainability and social impact for investments in Spain, too. These are FOCO, a co-investment fund, attracting foreign investors, public or private, investing in productive models in sustainable projects. Right? It could be circular economy, environmental, sustainable agriculture, technology innovation, okay? And then the Fund for Social Impact, this is a fund of 400 million euros, which is focused on social inclusion. So, but I'm proud to say that Cofides has been always a pioneer somehow in assessing, valuing, and introducing clauses in contracts regarding ESG issues, right? So we have been measuring the impact of our investments regarding ESG aspects, and establishing requirements and rating these issues. And also we are very focused on SDG goals, okay? Our strategic plan has as a reference SDG goals, okay? And the creation and maintenance of employment, also the responsible industry, investments in emerging countries. But answering, now that I have made this introduction, answering your question, I think there is a direct correlation between profitability and sustainability. Actually, in our experience, medium to long-term sustainable projects and profitable projects must be concerned of environmental and social issues. Otherwise, they would not be sustainable, you know? So if you want to keep on and continue with your business, you have to be aware of the social and environmental impacts. And also, it's regulation, it's financial institutions, but particularly customers that are demanding sustainable products, right? And customers are demanding companies to be more responsible. Here we have an example with EcoAlf of the production processes, reducing the use of resources, right? Being more efficient and being more concerned of environmental and social issues, okay?
And Xavi, in Nature Impact, what are the key strategies that help you with your clients to change this kind of model, to go to the zebra business?
Yeah, so Nature is the impact consulting firm within WPP Group, to which belong companies like BML, GroupM, or Ogilvy. And what we do is help corporates build their own impact and sustainability businesses. And what it's interesting about Zebra Business is how they understand sustainability, because they don't see it as an add-on or as something they need to comply with, but as a context for business development. And this is very important. If we think of it, digital has been the main contributor to business transformation for the past 20 years. But the next 20 years, we need sustainability to be this driver. And biggest companies today are the ones that 20 years, 30 years ago understood that their business would be based on what digital would be in the future. They didn't think of digital as a tool or as a channel, but as a context for human development. And that's what we try to do with sustainability. Last week, we published a report trying to understand the perception that the society has on climate change. And it's interesting to note that 57% of the population think that businesses are the main responsibles of climate change. And up to a third of the population think that the fastest way to build a sustainable economy is through degrowth, so by degrowing our economy. So our answer to that is that the fastest way to make the economy sustainable is by growing impact businesses that understand the type of challenges that we need to work on and that are able to deploy solutions at scale that affect as many people as possible. Because at the end, this is a tech issue, but this is also a behavioral issue. We need to change how we live, how we dress, how we eat. It's not only a tech issue. And many times the problem is that we are not able to move the society into the right adoption of behaviors. And that's what we try to do from our design mindset and leveraging on the experience we have in building brands that somehow shape the reality we live in.
And back to technology, I thought, what role does technology play in engaging the efficiency and the impact of the sustainability process?
Well, first of all, share that I'm coming from the university, and we have a bachelor program in entrepreneurship and innovation. And the first thing that we are really concerned about how to train Zebra people, Zebra entrepreneurs, that then are going to be able to build Zebra companies. And since the very beginning, they create their own company, and little by little, this company for them is the tool for learning, the tool for experimenting, and little by little, we are introducing technology in their projects. For example, first year, they can have some workshops about exponential technologies. Second year, they will have a program to identify the needs in the society, and so on. Why? Because then we understand that they will be able to implement those technologies in their project. Our goal is not to train or to become experts in technology, but just how to use that technology in their projects. So then they are able to build companies introducing technologies in their value proposal, and that's really important.
And returning to Xavi, what does your business model, your business or from your clients, influence the organization culture and talent attraction?
Yeah, this is very interesting because at the end, attracting talent that is interested in sustainability is the best way for you to attract the best possible talent. Sustainability is such a complex issue that you need to put together and find the sweet spot between science, technological capabilities, user needs, business profits, your own financials. So we need to define a new world, and this requires for us to connect dots from very multiple areas. And in that sense, we've seen it in Neture many times that when we bring together professionals from different fields to innovate and generate ideas around sustainability, we end up transforming many other areas of the business, some of which have nothing to do with sustainability. But because we have been using this type of intelligence, this type of knowledge, this type of expertise, we are able to bring much more innovation to the field. So at the end, I think that sustainability is a business issue. And this is not because businesses are guilty of it. It's because it's the best opportunity you can take now to turn your business sustainable is the best way for your business to thrive today.
We have representation from consultancy or university, public, private, but if we return back to public, what is necessary to change? I mean, we need new politics, I don't know. Which are the things that we need to improve on?
I think we need to improve on regulation. I think much has already been done, but there's still things to be done.
We have some regulation regarding ESG right now.
Yeah, and also I think it's very important to public support, public and private incentives. For instance, we have a program that we call Cofides Impact, where we establish targets, KPI targets related to sustainability, and we offer better financial conditions or even technical assistance related to the social and environmental management. Also, I think it's very, very important in the case of public finance, prioritize sustainable financing, right? In this sense, we focus, we can do a direct or indirect, in the case of Cofides I'm talking, investments, and for instance, companies like EcoAlf, I think it's a company that should be prioritized. Actually, it's already client of Cofidis. And also, when do indirect investments, I think it's important if we go through funds, funds that are specialized in certain sectors or have strong requirements for ESG due diligence and requirements. So we can, from public institutions like Cofidis, we can do a lot, and also like public-private partnerships, right? We have this, as I was telling you before, we have funds for co-investing with attracting foreign investment, and so both public and private. So I think there is much to be done also in the public-private partnerships, focusing on sustainability. Okay.
And a question open to the round. Maybe there are some entrepreneurs here in the stage. What specific advice or would you give to carry on with a startup, with a project with this specific Zebra model or social impact? What about you, Javi?
Well, I'm not very good giving advices, but at the end, I think that the world doesn't need more companies doing things in the same way as they've been done till now. I think you need a new generation of companies. So I think the new entrepreneurs have to be disruptive, have to be brave, and have to think, okay, how this should be done. I think what you do is not enough anymore. I think anybody can make a building, but how is that building in terms of energy efficiency? Anybody can make a T-shirt. It's not science fiction. But what is the footprint of that T-shirt in the world? So at the end, I think we need a new generation of entrepreneurs really asking the question, how should those new companies be in the future?
When you start EcoAlf, you have this vision from the beginning?
Well,
something that appeared?
No, I think the best thing about EcoAlf is that the purpose we wrote in 2009 is exactly the same we have now. So we've changed, we change ideas every day about many things, except for the purpose. The purpose is very clear, and it's very clear thanks to the team, which fights every day for that purpose. Obviously, trying to be part of the Zebra is more complicated. I think you don't work with the same tools. You cannot do things others can do. What you do is normally more expensive than others. So I think it needs people very committed and very sure that what they're doing is what they want to do, because it's not very easy to get shortcuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Aitor, what is your advice for the entrepreneurs?
Well, in my case, I would say that when growing, think more about people than investment. I think that an important element when you are building a Zebra startup, for me, every company should have this, but especially these Zebra startups, I think that you need to build a strong team and have strong collaborators. For me, these are the two most important elements, because then the rest of the things, I think that will come, that are going to be important instruments. I think that for me, investment, financiation are really important instruments, tools that we have to scale people and to scale the impact that we are looking for.
Just to add up on Aitor, so the best team is not the one who has not necessarily the best curriculum. Mm-hmm. The best team, at least in my experience, is the most committed team to what you're working for. Mm. And in fact, the best people there's in EcoAlf, they don't have amazing CVs, but what they have is their commitment and their clarity, where we're going for. That's, I think, for me, that's very important.
Yeah. In the degree, we like one sentence that is ordinary people doing extraordinary things together. Mm-hmm. That's the point.
Together.
Yeah. Together. And Anna, what is your advice?
I think it's important to have it in your strategy, like a pillar, right? You have to be, for the organization, of course, I agree that people is the most important, that's for sure, but to add something else, I think to have it in your strategy. Also, you can rely on partners and advice companies, but I mean, any company, any business, any sector can be more sustainable, So I think it's a question of also of finding the right ways in your innovation process. You have to be innovative too. But for me, it's starting from since inception having sustainability in your strategy, and then also the ways to measure, control, information. I think reporting is also important in this society. And then be consistent and be focused, on your goals.
Sometimes it's very difficult, no? Because it depends on the people that you have in your board of directors or maybe your shareholders, no? Sometimes you want to do something more ESG, but it's not so profitable like someone wants.
I think it's, as I said, I think there is a correlation, between profitability and sustainability. I think there is really.
And Xavi, you have the opportunity to work with a lot of clients with different business model. Which will your advice for the entrepreneurs?
So my advice would be to make sure that your impact business makes business sense. Because it's easy for a corporation to think of sustainability as more a charitable model or something that is just done to contribute to the reputation. And the bad thing about that is that it does not allow us to move fast. And we need to move very fast because we don't need to forget that we're talking about sustainability. We're living in an absolute emergency right now. And I do believe that the fastest way for us to act is through businesses. So if your business is not profitable, you will end up killing it, and we don't want that. So make sure that it is profitable and it makes business sense from very early stages.
Very interesting. Any advice more? No? I don't know if there are some questions here in the public. I can... Yes?
How do you see AI integrated into sustainability, ESG, consumer behavior shifts?
Well, I have a vision about that. In ESG, we need to analyze vast amounts of data. And when we are assessing carbon emissions in Scope 3, for instance, this requires us to make so many assumptions that AI is a very useful tool. But on the other hand, it's true that it's very pollutant today, and the use of AI is not decoupling the economy, but the opposite. So we still need to work a lot on its efficiency. But I'm tech positive in that sense. So I believe that in the midterm, it will be very, very useful for us to progress in the climate fight. Yeah.
I think maybe as I work in the university, we are all the time now talking about AI and ChatGPT, and I see it as a big opportunity if we apply ethical practices there. I mean, and following this panel, I think that AI should be also zebra, not unicorn, and that I think that is going to be it's going to be about about human sense. That's my point from the university.
Maybe you can use AI like a tool, no? At the end of the day, the most important thing is the behaviors, not the change of mind to pass through a profitability only way to put another issues, concepts in the same box, no? And do. Any question more? No? Yes. Sorry.
I wanted to ask Javier if I think a lot about degrowth and how we're always talking about economic growth and having the same type of lifestyle as we have today. And I think we really don't talk enough about that we have to change. And I don't really know how to make less sexy, like sell less.
Well, I think that's an amazing question. Well, amazing reflection, and I cannot be more aligned. No? I was like in a university a few weeks ago, no? And you meet a lot of young people which are very activist, no? But the next morning that buying 4 T-shirts of €4 said, okay, but that doesn't work. You need to decide. So you cannot be doing this and this. Either you manifest or you keep on buying those T-shirts, because those T-shirts come with a footprint, no? And they always ask, I say, what do you do? I say, buy less. You don't need so many clothes. I think we have too many of everything, and that's one of the biggest problems. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why at EcoAlf we never do promotions, we don't do Black Friday, we don't do this, because at the end, all that is creating an unnecessary consumption, which we don't need. We all have too much of everything. So you're absolutely right. I think we need to change attitudes, no? And the other thing which worries me, that same day in the university, that was one group, and there was another group of young people which were saying, okay, whatever I do is not going to make a change, so why should I make an effort? And for me, that's the most dangerous thing, because that I am absolutely against. No? I think everything we do has an impact, and everything you do has a consequence. So I think, yeah, we need to change a lot of attitudes if we want to make this work.
So I think that we have no more time. Thank you all to here this afternoon with everybody, to sharing your visions, your strategies, your insights. I hope that we can carry on with this task. Thank you.